Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me for your 10 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, ECU Health is going to be presenting a proposal at the next commissioners meeting about the status of Martin General Hospital. ECU Health shared the proposal last month, saying that it's a non-binding proposal that's up for consideration by the Martin County Board of Commissioners. The proposal suggests two key contingencies that would rely heavily on state support. One, state financial support to transition the rural emergency hospital to a newly constructed rural care center, given the age and condition of the existing facility. Now, state financial support to modernize and expand inpatient capacity at ECU Health Beaufort Hospital will also be a contingency. A Hill-Burton Act facility that was built back in 1958, which is critical given the rural emergency hospital model proposed for Martin County cannot have inpatient beds. Now, these proposals come after the commissioner passed a resolution of intent to lease, sell, or convey Martin General Hospital earlier this year. The hospital closed its doors in 2023. And now we want to turn our attention to new immigration customs enforcement tactics that are being used to deport illegal immigrants. NBC's Julie Carey has more.
Last Thursday, outside the immigration court in Sterling, video shows several men who showed up for their hearings taken into custody. Matthew Noonan was documenting the arrests out in the parking lot for the group New Virginia Majority. He says the men making the arrests were ICE agents, many in plain clothes.
A lot of people, including myself, believe that this is just arbitrary and cruel, what we're witnessing.
It's unknown whether arrests were also made at the immigration court in Annandale, but in Miami on the same day, a similar scene. The wife of one of the men arrested, overcome with emotion, screaming the word injustice. Recently, these types of arrests have increased across the country. Veteran Northern Virginia immigration attorney Ophelia Calderon explains what other attorneys have told her they've seen happen inside the immigration court. The government begins by dropping its case.
People who have been here for less than 2 years, the government asking for dismissal, and then the minute that they get out of there, then all of a sudden they're now in expedited removal. So taking them into custody and placing them in this new type of proceeding where they're not going to get where they won't get to present their case before the immigration court.
She calls the action very unusual, but clearly a new effort to ramp up and quickly carry out deportations.
In 20 years, I've only ever had one client who was arrested outside of a courtroom, and I think those are very specific circumstances.
News 4 contacted ICE with questions about the immigration court arrest, but have not heard back. In a statement to NBC News about a similar arrest in San Antonio, an assistant DHS secretary wrote in part, "Most aliens who illegally entered the United States within the past 2 years are subject to expedited removals. ICE is now following the law and placing those illegal aliens in expedited removal as they always should have been." Calderon says the new ICE approach could have many consequences.
It has a chilling effect. People don't show up to court because if you think that you're going to be arrested and then immediately deported, why come, right?
And Calderon warns of another consequence that could hurt her ability to represent clients. Key witnesses could now be afraid to show up for fear they'll be arrested. But Calderon says she'd never advise a client not to appear. Doing so leads to penalties. She says more than ever before, immigrant families need to get their personal and family affairs in order before coming to court.
You have to be prepared for the idea that your family member isn't coming home.
And again, that was Julie Carey reporting. We now turn our attention to your weather forecast, where today we're going to start to see cloud cover gradually build over eastern North Carolina. A little bit out there right now. It's going to get thicker coming up this afternoon. Not to worry. Enjoy the sunshine while we have it. Currently 77 degrees in Greenville, southerly wind at about 5 miles an hour. Dew points right now in the low 60s, a little bit higher than where they were yesterday, and that's promoting air temperatures to feel a little bit warmer. Right now 77 degrees. Feels like 79 in Greenville. Let's take a look at temperatures across the board. Many of us in the mid to upper 70s at this hour. Going to be getting into the low to mid 80s coming up later on this afternoon, but humidity will accompany that heat rise as we see a southeasterly breeze present throughout most of eastern North Carolina. Right now, winds coming in at about 4 to 8 miles an hour. A little bit of a stronger breeze closer to the water, but not a whole lot stronger. We're looking more at about a 5 to 10 mile per hour sustained wind across the Pamlico Sound as well as the Albemarle Sound. Now moving forward beyond just, of course, winds today, we got to take a look at rain chances. Those are going to be increasing as those clouds build over the east coming up this afternoon. Highs getting up to around 83, 84, 85 degrees coming up later on today. And there will certainly be some sun breaks, but as we head towards 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night tonight, those clouds are going to take over. And eventually those clouds are going to start to put some rain showers down. All part of an area of low pressure that is being tracked by the National Hurricane Center, but Hurricane Center is now indicating that this system does not have a very high likelihood of becoming our first named storm of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. Of course, Tropical Storm Alvin has already formed in the Pacific. We have not had our first named storm, though, in the Atlantic quite just yet. Hopefully we can take a couple more weeks before that happens. But there you see that low pressure system rolling pretty much right over our coastline, giving rain throughout eastern North Carolina tomorrow. It's just going to be a wet and soggy day. Further back towards the west, we've got that frontal system there that will again bring another round of rain coming up into the tail end of this weekend, well, really tail end of Saturday into Sunday, and potentially lingering through Monday and Tuesday of next week. Again, there is that development potential, low chance, in fact, a 0% chance of development here over the next 48 hours. Rain showers rolling in early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is going to be a wet one. Start to finish, it is going to be wet. Now, we are anticipating some heavier showers near the coast, which is why we do have a first alert weather day up. Also, rip current threats may be a little bit higher coming up for tomorrow. Now, obviously, with all the rain showers coming down, I don't imagine there's going to be too many beachgoers out there, but just in case you were thinking about it, I would probably cancel the beach plans tomorrow due to the rain showers and the high threat of rip currents. Picture by noon, again, still wet. By 5, still wet. And guess what? Even as we head towards 8, 9, 10, and 11, still wet. Still seeing a potential of some, not just spotty showers, but also some downpours and perhaps some thunderstorms lingering. Making our way into Friday, we'll maintain at least a chance of rain, but as that low pressure system starts to pull away from the east, that will leave us again with a little bit of an opportunity for some clearing coming up on Friday, maybe a little bit of some sunshine. Should take air temperatures from the mid to upper 70s tomorrow back into low 80s on Friday. And then before you know it, we're back in the low 90s on Saturday. Now, coming up Saturday night into Sunday, we are watching a front roll through. As that front you saw sitting off to our west, that will move through eastern North Carolina late Saturday evening to Saturday night. And then we've got showers and storms along that boundary that will continue to bring rain and thunderstorms to the east for your Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. That's all we have time for today's 10 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic Wednesday.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by ENC Pirate Realty.